The Sinner Season 4 wrapped at the end of last year, and fans are still reeling from the final episode. The show stars Bill Pullman as Detective Harry Ambrose, a man tasked with reviews, largely down to the performances from its stellar cast. Today we are talking about presumably find some solace. Drama quickly catches up with him as he is thrust into the center of another potential murder mystery. The mystery in question surrounds the disappearance of a local woman, Percy Muldoon. Ambrose quickly learns that Percy's family was involved in some pretty shady human trafficking rings and are also big rivals with another family in the town, the Lambs. It turns out that Percy had shot and killed Beau Lamb after it came to light that he had been stealing from them. With the Muldoons trying to keep the Lambs on side following the murder, they give them fishing permits and also offer up their own spot as a burial site for Beau. We then learned that Percy couldn't deal with the guilt from killing Beau, and that a couple of years later, she decided to end it all by jumping off a cliff. What did you make of the fourth and final season of The Sinner? Let's try and get to the bottom of that ending then. Stay tuned! Throughout the season, we see Ambrose having internal conversations with Percy, as she appears to him as a figment of his own imagination. In the final scene of the season and series, the pair are on the edge of the cliff, locked in conversation. Harry still hasn't come to terms with his own past, and is still racked with guilt. At one point, with Harry on the edge of the cliff, viewers could be forgiven for assuming that he was about to take his own life. But the season serves as a piece of personal redemption for our hero, and during his final conversation with Percy, she asks him if he sees another way out of his guilty frame of mind, presumably other than suicide, to which he answers, to our immense relief and pleasure, that he can. It is this response that everyone was hoping for, and ultimately shows that Harry has come full circle and is finally starting to put the past behind him. And apparently suicide was never on the cards for Harry, as Derek Simmons, who served as executive producer on The Sinner, explained that season 4 was a welcome opportunity to fully complete Ambrose's journey. I always imagined that season 4 would close his trajectory in a hopefully satisfying way. That was always the intention. Simmons continued that the overarching theme of the season was always about guilt and how Ambrose would deal with it. Deep. How did season 4 of The Sinner stack up against the other seasons for you? So that's definitely the end of The Sinner, right? Well, officially, yes. But, and it's a big but, Simmons has revealed that he hasn't completely closed the door on revisiting Harry's story a few years down the line. Presumably, it would focus on him being called out of retirement. Would a better angle be to take a look at Ambrose's early career in a prequel season? Simmons said that it would be a fun experience to revisit the character and series, but also had a word of warning for the fans. He said that if there were, in fact, to be more seasons, then they would have to tread very carefully in order not to repeat themselves, which would only provide fans with diminishing returns. And we see where he's coming from. There are plenty of examples of shows which went on far too long and just churn out the same old stuff season after season. The Walking Dead, anyone? In his parting shot, Simmons admitted that the idea of working with Bill Pullman again is one that he probably wouldn't be able to turn down, revealing that he has really cherished the past 5 years working on The Sinner. Which season of the show was best in your opinion? Give us your thoughts and opinions below. How has season 4 been received then? Let's discuss. Well, it turns out pretty well. Before the 4th season dropped, it was almost universally accepted that the first season, starring Jessica Biel, was the best offering to date. But then season 4 dropped and shattered that myth. The 4th season featured twists galore, and fans didn't seem to mind the long wait of 2 years they'd had to endure. Thanks again, COVID. And a serious return to form from the show, whose middle season seemed to dip a little after the sensational first season. Some fans even aired their opinions on Twitter, with one fan saying, "The Sinner is aging like fine wine." We get you, it really is. Another fan referenced the tone of the show, saying that although it is very dark, season 4 is the best one yet. One fan even gushed that they can't believe how good this is. Best season so far, even better than season 1. It seemed the 4th season was a hit from the very first episode too, with another fan claiming, "The very first episode of The Sinner season 4 on @Netflix is one of the best starts to a series in a very long time. So intriguing and beautifully shot." We haven't heard such great reviews in quite some time. What did you make of season 4? Do you agree with these fans' thoughts, or would you say they're a bit over the top? Let us know your thoughts below. Think our favorite Detective Ambrose looks familiar? Well, that's because you've almost certainly seen him before. Stay tuned to find out which shows he's been in. Pullman's career began back in the mid-80s as a fresh fresh-faced actor in his late 20s. His first role of note was in the cult classic Spaceballs, and his first television role came in Cagney and Lacey back in 1987. But it was film where he really made his mark. The late 80s and early 90s were a prolific time for our dear Bill, and in this period he appeared in no fewer than 18 movies. The most famous of these was probably the 1993 smash hit Sleepless in Seattle, alongside Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. The mid-90s were also a strong period for Pullman, when he appeared in movies such as Wyatt Earp and Casper, before the monster hit alien invasion classic Independence Day, in which he played the president and also knew exactly how to fly a fighter jet, because of course he did. The 2000s were a bit of a barren wasteland for our man Bill, but more recently he has made appearances in the Denzel Washington-led The Equalizer, as well as 2018's Dark Water with Mark Ruffalo, which tells the true tale of a lawyer who sues the DuPont monolith. Successfully, we might add. Pullman's career to date offers a solid body of work, and although he is deep into his 60s, we're pretty sure he still has a lot to offer going forward. What is your favorite role of Bill's? Let us know below. And finally, a little Jessica Biel news. Stay tuned. Ms. Biel, star of The Sinner Season 1, stepped up recently and looked completely unrecognizable. Justin Timberlake's other half uploaded a picture to Instagram, which embraced her more natural side, revealing beautiful curly hair. The 39-year-old beauty posted a selfie of herself, looking beautiful with absolutely no hint of makeup, which also highlighted a skincare regime which can only leave the rest of us mere mortals guessing how she does it. Beverly Mitchell, who appears alongside Jessica in Seventh Heaven, said, "OMG, this takes me back. Haha, love it. The bigger the hair," on her Instagram post. Fans inundated Biel's Instagram post with praise, with one fan saying how good the look was on her. Another mentioned how it was a mystery to most people that she was naturally curly, and Miss Biel's makeup artist was on hand to reveal it all. He said, "There's not a ton of moving parts when it comes to Jessica's skincare prep. It's basically two parts, toning and moisturizing. To start, I love this Mario Badescu lavender toner because it's calming and gives the skin a balanced refresh." Well, there you go then. Give us your skincare tips below. And as always, thanks for dropping by today, and feel free to share today's video with any The Sinner fans you know of. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time. Bye!